and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run as he shoots the moon to the
pass, pumps to the left, 8 seconds left. He gets away from the pressure, fires to the end zone. It's caught! It's Greg Lewis! Oh my heavens! Greg Lewis's first catch has given the Minnesota...
Four, three, two, one.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of House Calls. You got the Skull Doc here, brought by Minnesota Sports Talk. We have Dave joining us, as always, for another episode of House Calls. How you doing, my man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can't wait till Sunday.
Yeah, I got to get this bad taste out of our mouth.
Kapooey.
0-2 in the last two, man. 2 losses in 5 days. That's tough. And
man. Well, it was a little pick me up when the Bears blew it.
That was nice. That was nice.
That's excellent.
I was watching, I live in Chicago. Well, I live in the Chicago burbs, Southwest burbs. And my wife and I are watching at the kitchen table. And, I let my wife enjoy it. I'm not like rooting against the Bears openly, just letting her have a good time. And when the Bears scored. So first of all, when the Bears give it to the offensive lineman on the goal line and he fumbles it, I'm just like secretly laughing. Like, of course, that's what you get. Like, this isn't 85. This isn't Refrigerator Perry. This is 2024. Like, that's what you get. You get what you deserve. And then, of course, 3 and out by the Commanders, and the Bears go down and score. And I'm like, okay, there it is again, right? Another win that the Bears really didn't deserve, but their defense played really well and their offense sucks. And the other team just played too careful. And but then that happens, and my baby's sitting to my left eating dinner, and my wife is sitting across from me, and we're watching on the TV in the kitchen. And I just go, oh, my God, when it happened. And my wife's kind of in shock, and my baby startled. She starts crying, and I'm like, it's okay, sweetie. It's okay. But just what a play, man. What an absolute play. That was
what
a
makes
fun
it
catch.
even what makes it even well, and then I think it was a bad spot, and they didn't get a first down on a bad spot or something like that. At least I was listening on the radio. And then I shut it off after they come back and score a touchdown, and I go listen to something else on my radio in my car, and I was like, well, and at the end, it was, I find out about 45 minutes later when I check Twitter to start to see highlights of the thing, and then I started to see camera angles of like that cornerback running down, mocking the crowd, and didn't even know the play started. But Bears fans are pointing, and then he's the fucking guy that tips the ball.
Yep. Yeah.
My boss is a Commanders fan, so I went in there. Hey, you want to see a new angle?
That was so much fun. But and the Bears were like, oh, this only happens to Bears fans. Dude, please, come on. We've seen, every fan base has seen that happen to them. Like, get over it. Like, here's my thing, though. If the Bears do win that game and the Vikings are in last place, it's like, bro, we're 5-2 with a cupcake schedule ahead of us. Sky's the limit. The Bears have an absolute gauntlet ahead of them. I wasn't worried. I still believe in the Vikings being a better team than the Packers as well. So I was like, whatever, people are going to overblow this, and the sky's falling because the Vikings have lost 2 in 5 days. But, we finally reached the cupcake part of our schedule. We got to rattle off some wins now.
You got Skull for Life. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Bob Swede. Restricted. Be a gentleman today. Let's see. It was good. A good little pick me up. We weren't the last place team. We almost went from first to last in like 7 days, which would have been incredible. I even had like NFL Outdated, which is a Bears, a NFL North podcast, and I've been on his show. He hasn't asked me to be on the show this year. Of course, we were 5-0, and now if we lose, we'll probably be on there. Now, but he started talking shit, and I was like, about us being being fakes or whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure. We waits 4 days after the Bears shoot themselves in the dick. And,
right.
And now he's talking shit. He had to wait until they did this to call us, pretenders. But yeah, he hasn't. If you're out there, NFL updated, if you want me on the show, we can talk. But yeah, it was a good little pick me up. Now let's talk about. We're going to talk about the new pickup. It's on the thumbnail about Cam Robinson before, but let's recap what we felt about the travesty of a game that we put forth on Thursday. What's your overall impression of that game?
Frustrating. I mean, just absolutely frustrating. The offense came out hot, restricted, and the comment says that the offense has been inept, but they scored 2 straight touchdowns to start that game. And Kevin O'Connell has been a magician with the scripted plays, right? In the first quarter, the Vikings lead the NFL in point differential. They've come out extremely hot, and he's got to find a way to keep that going throughout the game. He absolutely does, because after that first quarter, that offense usually goes away for the second and third quarter, and then they're scrambling in the fourth quarter, and that's been a Kevin O'Connell theme. Now, I'm a huge KOC fan. I love him as a coach. I think he's the guy for this team, but he's got to figure that out. And then defensively, they just didn't show up. I mean, we're talking about the Vikings defense being the leader in the NFL in pressures against the quarterback. And this was a bad Rams offensive line that they were playing against in a stadium with 50% Vikings fans, and they could not get pressured on Matthew Stafford. Just couldn't touch him, couldn't pressure him. And that was super deflating and really hard to watch. It was tough that they got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, who both looked great, by the way, back against them when teams like the Packers and the Bears played the Rams when they were down and got easy wins. And, of course, we had to go on a Thursday night to the West Coast off of short rest after playing against the Detroit Lions. By the way, a team still has not won the following week after playing the Detroit Lions because they kicked the shit out of you. So it was just frustrating. I thought the Vikings were going to kind of cakewalk the Rams, to be honest with you, despite them getting their weapons back. I just thought the Vikings were a better, more talented team. And, that it could have been if the defense showed up that night, after getting up, 2 straight touchdowns, it could have been 14-0. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to say was just the freaking penalties, offense and defense. How many penalties extended the Rams, third down or fourth down and kept their offense on the field? And some of those were tic-tac fouls and completely ridiculous, including the damn penalty that ended the game. I don't understand how you miss a face mask on national television like that. But I'm going to end this soap opera and just say that super frustrated game. But at the end of the day, the Vikings are still 5-2. They're going into their cupcake season or cupcake schedule right now, where they could easily rattle off 3-4 wins in a row, and we could be feeling very good about this team again.
And I know I was pretty super frustrated with the defense. I felt a lot of individual poor effort and handsy cornerbacks, and decisions like, okay, it's third down, and our cornerback gets pass interference. It was pass interference. But if he just tackles him after he catches it, he doesn't get a first down. Right. And he's got safety coming over to hit him. So I'm like, I don't care. Let him catch it. He's 3 yards shy of the first down. He's falling out of bounds. Just things like that. Even like with Murphy, when he got his first, holding penalty or holding penalty. I mean, he literally grabbed the guy's T-shirt and let it go, but he grabbed it, and he didn't have to grab it. He was running along with him. Play wasn't coming his way either. So it's like, just laziness. I felt like that. They just went through the motions, and then there was no pass rush. And like you said, poor offensive line, and we couldn't get any individual effort in there. I think I'm not going to blame Flores on this one. I'm going to go with individual effort, but I'm not letting the offense off the hook. Okay. Sam Darnold did 13-yard sacks and holding on to the ball longer than anybody in the league. And he misses, we'll talk about this probably, but Jordan Addison was free down the sideline. He don't hit him. He takes a 15-yard sack instead, ends the drive. And then he forces one to a falling down Justin Jefferson in double coverage when Jordan Addison is standing right over there on the goal line, almost on the goal line, nobody around him. It's like you see that, if you're going to see, look, and you see the double coverage, look away and look for your outlet. And that's, I'm always going to say that. Look for someone else to dump it off to. Bracketed coverage on Justin Jefferson is probably not going to be your play at the goal line. There's somebody open. And sure enough, Jordan Addison just stand there. So I'm not letting that off the hook. I do believe, Kevin O'Connell can make adjustments. I believe Sam Darnold's fully capable of watching film and realize where he screwed up. But I'm starting to see a trend. The Jets game was terrible for Sam Darnold. The last two games, there's been guys open that he's missed. Not as bad as the Jets game, but he's got to hit those guys. So, that's the one where I said Jordan Addison was wide open. Reminds me of Tristan Jackson catching a touchdown from J.J. McCarthy early in the year or in the preseason. He anticipated it and threw it downfield and hit Tristan Jackson, in stride. That is something Sam Darnold needs to see. And I don't see why he couldn't see that. I mean, it was so instantaneous. He was open or going to break open, and you got to anticipate that. And so Sam Darnold's disappointed me the last three games. But honestly, I said this, the last two games, Jets was terrible. The last two games is about what I expected or hope for from Sam Darnold, and then our defense would be, killer. So it's honestly what I expected or hope he would be, Sam Darnold would be. But he could, and I feel like I have a higher expectations for him now, though.
I was going to say, like, if you're expecting Sam Darnold to be Kirk Cousins, then that's on you because he's not. He's not as good of a quarterback. We need him to perform better. No, I'm just saying, in general? I'm in general, like if people are like, this is the Sam Darnold experience, right? And it is what it is. He's not a great quarterback.
Well, I'm just saying, like the last two games are good enough to win. They're good enough to win. This is what I hoped he would be like. I didn't think we'd be barn burning scoring offense. I thought the defense would carry us, and just Sam, don't turn the ball over, right? And that's what he is these last two games. But after the first 5 games, I got higher expectations for him now. Right. So, yeah, a little, Cousins is Kirktober's a real thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude, Kirk's been good this year, too.
Yeah. He's holy shit. It's been pretty good. Kirk Tober still exists. Sam Timber was a thing, too. I need a Sam Vember. Let's go.
I agree with you, man. No, I agree with all your points that Jordan Addison restricted had a comment in this section here saying Addison has not been targeted much all season. His targets are down, but when you look at the target percentage per pass, it's actually on par with what it was last year. It's just that the Vikings are throwing the ball a lot less with Sam Darnold versus Kirk Cousins. So Justin Jefferson's target share is what it always has been, which is just dominating the target share. But
we're not running a lot of plays.
Correct. Yeah, that's
Worst
the thing.
in the league.
Yes. And I think Kevin O'Connell came out in an interview. Did you see this? Where he said something like, we need to be more of a fast break offense. Essentially, they want more plays. And they need to get their asses up to the line of scrimmage and get up there with some time to actually figure shit out. There's too many times they get there and he gets to the ball and there's 5 seconds left on the play clock, right? Or they get that delay of the game. The Vikings lead the NFL right now with delay of game penalties. That is crazy. And yeah, restricted. I got that from Matthew Collar's podcast, by the way. That's where I'm citing this information. So I agree with you that Jordan Addison needs to get more targets. They need to figure that out because Justin Jefferson is opening stuff up all over the field. Mm-hmm. And we can't be forcing the ball to him, even though he's that dude. And he's, when he's covered, he's open still. You just got to take what the defense gives you sometimes. And you're going to see this 3-and-out rate go down. You're going to see more offensive plays. And the biggest thing is that what goes along with not having the ball on offense is that your defense is out on the field way too much. Our defense is old. Like we have a lot of older corners. That might be why we're seeing such poor performance out of Gilmore. Might be tired. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's going to be
the last
nice.
2 games have been, he'd been awesome up and even through the Jets game. But yeah, I agree with that. Now, yeah, Yeah, and someone mentioned earlier, just the Super Bowl Vike here. Yeah, it was just it looked lazy out there on defense, and and I will contribute it to it being a Thursday, it being a West Coast swing, and you throw in the age there. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it, and yeah, throw out Puka Nacua, who's the first time I ever got to sit down and watch him play. And holy shit, that guy is good. He's bigger than I knew than I thought he was. He reminds me of Hushmazada, but like a higher priced Hushmazada. If you remember him.
He doesn't look like a wide receiver. Like he's big, like you said.
Yeah, he looks
but
like
damn, he's good.
He looks like a lighter Oliver.
Yeah, I mean, he's a damn good player.
Yeah, he's a solid player, and then Cup is Cup. Big play at the end. It's just he had all the time to throw. He had all the time in the world to throw.
Yeah,
and
then the one pressure
Matthew
we get
Stafford's
on him,
a good quarterback.
One pressure we get on him, he gets out of 2 tackles, one by Harrison Smith, one by somebody else, and throws a touchdown. It's like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah. Now, I think Restrictor brought it up, but we kind of believe Hawkinson's expected to play this week. Now, I had brought this question up in a video I did. Was it would losing Darisaw but bringing in Hawkinson? How much does that help us? I would honestly, I would like to have the left tackle, right? He was playing at a all-pro level. Then Hawkinson's coming off an injury. I would love the left tackle because we got a lot of weapons, but it does ease the pain a little bit. But we made a big move and got Cam Robinson from the Jaguars, which I felt was a huge move, especially after I went and watched his highlight tapes. How do you feel about him?
I completely agree with you. So to answer your first question, losing Darisaw but gaining Hawkinson, it's almost a wash, right? Because without Darisaw, who allows 0 pressures per game, by the way, Darisaw is unbelievable at pass protection. Most average tackles are probably going to give up 3 to 4 pressures a game. So we're really just talking about a few plays where they're going to give up pressure. To whereas Hawkinson coming back, I think, is going to make a very big difference for Sam Darnold. Having that presence in the middle of the field, that safety blanket for him, that guy you can throw a 2-yard check down to and have him, run it for 6, fall forward for 8. That's going to be such a big deal in terms of moving the chains, keeping that offense on the field. I think Hawkinson is going to be great for this offense in the second half. But yeah, man, it's that move that they did to go out and get Cam Robinson. It's like I didn't really think about how important Darisaw is to this offense moving forward until they made that trade in a way, because I expected them to do the shuffle thing where they kick out Brandel to left tackle, put in Reisner at left guard, keep Ed Ingram at right guard. But if you do that, you have 0 depth on the offensive line. Not only that, but you're moving around multiple players. And Brandel, we cannot trust that guy to really hold up on the left side. So you're probably going to help with a tight end and chip, or a running back and chip.
Regardless of what we would have did, we would have been chipping like crazy. Like after the Dallas game, I give credit KOC from 2 years ago. KOC went and started chipping after that. And he realized that Brandel couldn't hold up as a left tackle on his own.
Yeah, and that takes away from the offense, right? Because now you're taking away a receiver option and just slowing down a pass rush. So that's not the way that Kevin O'Connell wants to call the game. So I think that this trade, getting Cam Robinson, whose pass blocking grade is pretty similar to Christian Darisaw, it's not as good, but it's kind of in the same range, ballpark, via PFF standards. His run blocking is not as good, but this is a big dude with the mean streak who can definitely hold up as a left tackle. I would say he's an above average left tackle in the league. And from all reports that I've read, it sounds like the Jaguars are going to pick up a large price tag from him. So the Vikings aren't going to be paying a lot of his salary for the remaining year. He is a free agent at the end of the year, so he will count towards the comp pick formula. So when he leaves and signs a big deal because he's a left tackle, that will count towards the Vikings, which is nice. Now we're expected to be big players in free agency, so it's probably going to be a wash anyways, but still, I love the move. I mean, the Vikings are basically giving up potentially a 4th-round pick in 2026 for half a season and a season where they're competing for Super Bowl aspirations. Let's be honest. Like if everything gets back on track, you're going to need that guy to be good at left tackle to get to where you ultimately want to go this year. So love the trade, A+ trade. I don't think you really give up too much to get it done, and it keeps the season alive.
What I saw out of him based on my extensive 10 minutes of watching video, in-depth breakdown of his abilities, or just watching the highlight film, basically. I don't pretend to say I know anything, but things that stood out based on watching other players and how they are. He's not as athletic and fluid and can do the shit that Darrisaw could do. But I did see him get to the second level. I do see him. The thing that impressed me the most was he looks like a very intelligent player that does not like to get penalties, because I could see him on some of his blocks slip up and he took his hands off because he didn't want to get called for holding, or the play was away from him. He tried to reach block somebody, he missed it, but he's like, oh nope, I'm gonna let that go. He seemed like a very intelligent player. He didn't have as good of independent hands like Dalton Reisner or I think Brandel has, but he has them. So I don't think he's a stiff blocker at all. And he's just big and strong. But I did like that. I feel like his awareness was, above average. Like I saw him blocking a guy and then, oh my gosh, this guy's dangerous. I'm gonna go to this guy, and he probably saves his quarterback. So I feel like we definitely upgraded over. I like Quisenberry, but I don't think he's just he's not up to this level. He's not up to this level. Good backup, and he started in the league, but the Robinson is definitely going to be upgraded over Quisenberry, and we don't have to move anybody. And we can install Dalton Reisner as soon as he's ready over Ed Ingram, because I'll take the pass protection of Dalton Reisner over Ed Ingram, whatever addition he gives us as run blocking. And I've always said that because of Jones's ability to make his own play.
Yeah, I hope that's this week. Honestly, I would like to see Ed Ingram benched, because I am so sick and tired of seeing someone in Sam Darnold's face in less than 2 seconds through the line. I'm so sick and tired of seeing these stunts get home, crossing Ed Ingram's face. He's not staying square, getting spun around. I'm just done with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, 100% sit that guy down.
So I know he's probably kidding because he kids about everything. But Addis, what was your initial? I'm always waiting until like the smoke clears before I comment, and I was rightfully so. Jordan Addison putting out a picture of himself in this slogan "Free 3." I didn't even know he had a slogan "Free 3."
Neither did I.
Understand why people went freaked out on it.
Yeah,
and I know initially Purple Persuasion probably fueled the fire a little bit, and a couple other guys fueled the fire a bit because of the initial shock of, we got another prima donna receiver.
I think Purple Persuasion. I think Purple came out and said, "Hey, here's his." I think they called it out right away and said, "Hey, this is his
afterwards."
tweet.
But he did the googly eye thing and posted it. He did the googly eye thing, and then he posted what someone else said, and then finally people started posting old Free 3 things, and then they did. They came back and put out that Free 3, that was a slogan. So yeah, they followed up, right? And I don't blame anybody for initially thinking, oh my God, we got another prima donna wide receiver. Oh God, Free 3. I started saying, yeah, hell yeah, Free 3. He was wide ass open. Yeah, let's get him the ball. I want to free him. If he's not complaining, I'm complaining for him. And I didn't think he was. I feel like he's a team guy. I honestly, and people were like, off season, this is the guy we want. No, dude, off season. He does some dumb shit. He's young, whatever. But on the field, he says the right thing. He does the right thing. The game's not too big for him. I even kind of apologized him on air, thinking Naylor would be Naylor might be a a better future for us. No, Jordan Addison's special. He's special. And he came and he did a side interview, and I don't think he realizes how much weight a single comment or post would do. He does now.
Or maybe he does
now.
Maybe he does. Maybe he knew that was going to start a talk, and he's like, find a way to get me the fucking football because I want the ball. But I can't.
You and me are on the same page on this.
But he can't say it because he's the Robin to Justin Jefferson's Batman. You know how that's going to look if he comes out and bitches about targets, or you know what I mean? Maybe he goes to KOC, but I doubt it. Just knowing his personality, he seems like a quiet dude. But guess what? That made some noise. And Sam Darnold's, they're watching film. He sees that his wide ass open all the time. Get him the damn football.
I'm not lying. Yeah, you're not lying, man. There's especially 2 times it could have been 2 different touchdowns. Yeah. It's like, and then Naylor the week before, he was wide ass open, could have been a touchdown, and Aaron Jones could have, had a chance at a touchdown if he just hits them instead of throwing a pick. It's like, that these are the things that Sam Darnold's got to fix, and it wasn't going to help losing Darisaw. Right? It wasn't going to help losing Darisaw. So I think Kwesi, if anything, Kwesi does not sit around to find out, and he is proactive. Is anybody more in tune with the league than this guy? I don't know. He's still got to work on his drafting ability. What do we got? 3 starters that he drafted? Something like that. So
we got Dallas Turner in the pipeline. We got the most important pick, JJ McCarthy, in the pipeline. So the book is out.
those are longer. We went out and got really good players to play in front of Dallas. Yeah. So I get it. But how worried are you?
Picker in Minnesota Vikings history, by the way.
Oh yeah, and that guy for sure. It saved his entire 3 years of drafting. Yeah. So and then Jordan Addison's good. So now in your in a scale of 0 to 10, Dallas Turner only playing 7 snaps in the last 2 games. Yeah. Considering Lewis Cine was a first-round pick, Booth was a second-round pick. They're not on our team anymore. They never saw the field either. Yeah. And you got Dallas Turner playing 7 snaps. Where's your worried scale? 0 to 10.
My worry scale is legit. Right now, a 1.
Okay.
It's a 1. Would I like to see him out there and just tearing shit up? Of course. Yes. However, edge rusher is one of the slowest progressions in terms of coming into the NFL and making an impact right away, especially with his body type. Okay. He's not a very big guy. He's fast as hell, and he's an athletic freak. But remember Leonard Floyd for the Bears? How long it took him to kind of come around and just carve a niche. Now, I think Dallas Turner has a much higher ceiling than him, but that's the type that I'm talking about. Jared Verse, who's kicking ass as a rookie.
I was going to bring that up.
Blowing through Quessenberry, heavy-handed player. He's the kind of guy that's going to come into the NFL and make a difference.
Physically stronger.
He's physically stronger. He rushes with physicality. That's going to play in the NFL, right? But Dallas's Turner, his ceiling, what he could be, a Von Miller-esque player, is a higher ceiling than Jared Verse, okay? So I'm not worried. And Brian Flores and, KOC, they're telling you guys, they're like, listen, we understand that his snap count's low, but when you look at Van Ginkel and Grenard, by the way, Grenard's damn near leading the NFL in pressures. He's playing great
playing
football.
At elite levels.
The one player that I don't think Patrick Jones should necessarily be getting as many snaps as he's getting. That's just my opinion. I think a lot of the sacks he's getting is just cleanup shit from Flores' scheme. So I would like to see more Turner, less Patrick Jones, to be honest. But yeah, I'm just not worried. I think that the guy's going to progress. I understand, though, for the people who have PTSD from the Lewis Cine situation, I just think that this is a different story and we need to be patient.
Yeah, there might be a situation where I might start to think, well, can
they develop talent?
Well, can Brian Flores develop younger players instead of bringing in, veterans that are and maximizing them? when you look, but you look like an Ivan Pace Jr. who doesn't give a fuck. Just put him out there and wind it and pull the string and let him go. He's kind of a different cat. But when you got a guy, like Dallas Turner, and you do have high expectations for him, and he starts out the first game playing like 30 snaps, and now he's playing 7 in 2 games.
Yeah.
When I first thought he'd come in, I said he's not going to play more than 15. I was wrong. And I think it was over 20. I don't think it was 30, but he played more than I expected. And I'm like, oh, good. And then where is he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
And I think it'll go up as the season goes on. I think he'll get some more snaps. But right now, he's really just got one move. He's trying to move his speed.
Well, one of the things I was wondering, he was the 12th man, and he was back with the safeties. Was that one of those run a 12th guy out there to get a penalty type thing, or like people are doing nowadays?
No, I didn't.
What the hell was he doing back with the safeties?
I didn't notice where he was.
He was standing like 20 yards back.
I saw
with the safeties.
How pissed off Flores was. So
he was standing back with a safety.
I don't think it was on purpose. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it wasn't a situation where, like, I think just recently, I think it was Giants put out a guy to make it first down, and then they could call 2 times. It was going to be 2nd and 3, so he decided to throw out a guy, get a 5-yard penalty, call 2 timeouts, and they got the ball back with 2 minutes left. So that was pretty smart. I seen it in a college game too, but I don't know when the NFL start making rules to get rid of that shit. But but this looked like it was just Dallas Turner. What the hell are you doing out there? And why are you standing where the safeties are? But what's next, man?
You know what? Like just an absolute kick in the balls today. A tweet that I saw on Twitter, just a kick in the nads. The tweet that said that Anthony Richardson is not starting and that Joe Flacco is going to start against the Minnesota Vikings.
Because you were really hoping to play him, right?
Yeah, dude. I wanted Brian Flores to just put that guy's brain in a blender. And as soon as they made that announcement, the Vegas line went from -7 to -5. They shaved 2 points because Flacco's a better quarterback. The Vikings are just getting unlucky right now with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp coming back to play him on Thursday Night Football. Oh, now the Colts decided to get their head out of their ass. They're going to sit down the worst quarterback in the NFL, and they're going to throw an actual competent quarterback in against the Minnesota Vikings. It's like, damn it, can we just catch a break? Come on.
Yeah, and I guess they're not losing by much when they lose, right?
Yeah, I think I saw their 4 losses were by like a combined 12 points or something stupid.
Yeah, something like that.
I still look at that team and I'm like, where's the talent? But, Jonathan Taylor's a great running back. Oh, I did see this. Their offensive line has been amazing this year. They ranked like number 1 in pass protection and like number 5 in run blocking or some shit like that. So the Vikings defense better figure out how to pressure the quarterback again.
Well, how much is that they got a mobile quarterback?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't.
That's a great point because remember all these bad Bears offensive lines, but with Justin Fields, you kind of scared rush him, trying to keep him in the pocket, and that kind of equates to nobody actually causes pressure. They're just kind of playing patty cake with him in the pocket.
Yeah, but I would much rather have saw him than Joe Flacco, and we just had the worst experience playing backup quarterbacks or guys that are. Make a spot start, just got a bad record with that. Now, at least, I'm shocked that they put it out there early too, right?
Me too, actually. Yeah, I thought they would have played that closer to their best a little bit.
Oh, and it's a good point. Timothy Slack, the guy's only 21. I don't know how old Verse is.
I don't know either. I would guess a little bit older, maybe 24, just because he's freaking big.
And Verse was the first defensive player taken, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I remember that thinking because Dallas was the 3rd. But yeah, I know I was high on Verse too. Everybody was pretty high on him.
Verse is 23 years old. He turns 24 in 5 days.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. We just got to kind of hope that Dallas Turner doesn't really blow up until after he signs his second contract.
Let's do this, Dave. Let's pick the next 4 games.
Oh, Latu is first. You're right, but wasn't Verse right after that? Latu. Yeah, I was really high on Latu. UCLA, right?
UCLA.
I thought he was a guy we would take late.
Where did he go? He went to the Colts. Yeah, we're gonna see him this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I was really high on Latu, and but he had the neck thing with the injury, and he was medically retired for a while. But thanks, Dylan, for straightening me out. I need it straightened out every once in a while. But I think Verse was before Dallas. I don't know. I would have to look.
You know what? Before we pick the next 4 games, let's talk about this. So the Vikings made a trade before the deadline today, getting Cam Robinson. Do you see them making another bigger splash trade if they win this Colts game? Let's put that stipulation there, because if they win, they're 6-2. They're right there in the NFC North. They're right there in the NFC. They got Jaguars on the road, Tennessee on the road, and then the Bears on the road as their next 3 games after that. Let's start with Dave. You answer the question in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Vikings make a big trade if they go to 6-2, and who are they trading for?
So do you feel like the D tackle, what's his name from the Giants, is going to be available? He's not.
Dexter Lawrence. I'm going to say no. Just for shits and gigs, say he is available for 2 first-round picks. Would you pull the trigger?
I wouldn't do it for 2 first-round picks.
So too much? A first and a third?
Just because of a few picks we have.
Yeah.
Are we going to just keep being the team that gets veterans, and hopefully that it turns out like it did this year? It's really hard. This doesn't happen very often where every fucking free agent you bring in is good.
Yeah.
It never happens. But
well, it does when your GM is Mr. Google. He's got all the answers.
Apparently. But I would,
and I would do it for Jeffrey Simmons. I don't believe that report that says Jeffrey Simmons is off the table. The Titans are nowhere near close to competing. I just think that report was like, hey, offer us more. So would you do a first-round pick for Jeffrey Simmons?
Well, I'm okay with doing 1 first-round pick.
Yeah.
And maybe some change. I would hope it would be the 26th first-round pick instead of the 25th. Just because we don't have very many picks next year. Because I would kind of want to use that to trade down to get more picks so we can fill up some spots. Yeah. Because I know we have a lot of free agent money, but we have a lot of free agents.
You know what they say is that when you trade future years first round pick, it de-escalates that value by a full round. So essentially what you're giving them is a second round pick in 2026 because they have to wait to use it. So I don't think that deal gets it done. But I hear you. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm just saying I would much rather, right. I would definitely do that. I would. So yes, I do think we beat this next game. The deadline's the 5th, right? November 5th.
It's the Tuesday following this next game.
Which is the day we vote, which is crazy. It's the election day too.
Yeah.
So that's a big day, right? It's a big day. I would say if we win this game, I think throw in the chips, man.
Feels like it has to be defensive tackle, doesn't it? Maybe
it would have to be that.
Their interior pressure just sucks. Like it was clear against the Rams. They need pressure up the middle, and they need to be able to do it without blitzing people all the time.
Yeah, it'd have to be. That would make the biggest difference in the world. And it's been that way for 2 years now, right?
Yeah. Shit, the last defensive tackle could pressure the quarterback. Was it who's that guy that we got from the Browns? And I think he spent time in Seattle. Is it Sheldon something? Sheldon Richardson. He was the last guy I think we had who could rush up the middle. Seriously.
It wasn't too many other.
Before that, Tom Johnson, Canadian football player, found his way to the Vikings and rushed up the middle somehow. But I will say that I expect the Vikings to find a way to make a splash in the trade market. And I think it's going to be the first round pick because, like you said, what else do they have? I mean, you're going to send a 5th round pick or a conditional 5th round pick or something like that for like Adam Thielen to come back?
I don't think receiver. I know the thought about Adam Thielen coming over here. I don't think he's going to be any better than definitely better than Addison, and I don't think he'd be any more effective than Naylor is.
Yeah, I
now
agree.
maybe on possession because I think Naylor's Naylor's too good enough. Now he dropped what could have been an easy touchdown. That pissed me off. Come on, Naylor, you let me down, man. That could have been a touchdown. Nice little scramble by Sam, and then he sees him, hits him right in the chest,
Yep.
and he tries to catch with his arms.
Yep.
So, and it just goes right through him, and he had a chance to go left or right to get in the end zone. Didn't happen. But yeah, you don't make that move for Adam Thielen. No, you don't make that move for Adam Thielen. If it's like a 7th round or whatever, do it.
Or
why not?
JC Horn, the corner from Carolina, young corner.
And now, if that's for long term, if they got a couple years left, I could see like taking advantage of that.
Well, they would sign him.
Does he make us better?
He has a 5th-year option coming up, and then they would have to extend him. So I don't think they make that deal without getting that figured out.
Yeah. But
yeah, your corners, you're covered for corners super bare following this year. Everyone's a free agent and old. So,
and losing and are you a little worried? Are we a little worried the losing Cashman, right? Any more time, throughout the year that hey, shit, maybe a linebacker might not be too bad of an idea if we're gonna if Cashman's gonna lose time.
Yeah. I just think
because maybe it did make that big a difference this last game. We talked about that off air, but it could have been Cashman.
Guys, I was watching this Vikings game Thursday night, and the Rams. It's great. The Vikings march down and score a touchdown. You're like, here we go again. Maybe we're getting up early on them, and we're gonna make them throw all night. And this is how Vikings games have gone all year. And then Rams follow suit and they score right away. And the Vikings follow suit. They score again. The Rams go down and they score right away. There's just zero resistance. And I texted, I tweeted at Matthew Collar, and I was like, is Blake Cashman this goddamn important? I mean, ever since that guy's been out, this defense has not looked the same. And I think that it's just that he makes the final check, and I think he gets him in the right defense a lot of the time, and that just makes all the difference. And I don't think Ivan Pace does that. So
here's a good question.
Man. What's that?
Here's a good question. Does Asamoah stink?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's small for a linebacker, and I think that Kamu Grugier-Hill is better than him, and I think Ivan Pace is better than him. Blake Cashman's a hell of a lot better than him, and he's probably the next guy up after that.
Yeah, so we can
another agree. 3rd round pick, right? Asamoah?
Third.
I think so.
Yeah, he was in the 3rd round. It was Lewis Seen, Booth and Ed Ingram, and then Asamoah. That's a draft.
Yeah. So since it's my show and I can shit on whoever I want to shit on somebody for a second here.
Okay.
Mr. Kevin Seifert. I'm going to shit on him for a second here.
Okay.
Kevin Seifert is the most doom and gloom guy covering the Vikings, and I've had enough. It's sickening. So immediately after the Cam Robinson trade, he's tweeting about how, the Vikings draft, they have limited draft resources in 2025. Now they've dipped into 2026 twice for players this season. And when you look back at who he's talking about, we're talking about a conditional 5th round pick for Cam Robinson, left tackle, that is very important for this year. Okay.
4th, I think.
5th could turn into a 4th. So conditional.
5th can turn into 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's talking about the pick swap for Cam Akers, which was
the 6th and the 7th, right?
Yeah, we give them the 6th, they give us the 7th. So essentially, you trade down in the draft for Cam Akers for the rest of the year. What are we complaining about, sir? Like, I don't understand it.
You could trade down in the 3rd round or trade down in the 2nd round and get like 2 or 3 picks, right?
It's just things like that with people who cover the team. And I'm like, can you just cover it objectively? Why are we trying to paint like the sky's falling all the time for the Vikings? It sells. Who is he selling to?
I don't know.
Packer fans?
Clips. The more people that come on and bitch at them.
Yeah.
The more traction the tweet gets, more people come on.
True. Commenters, tell us, what do you want to talk about? You got anything else on your mind, Dave?
Should we hire the Rams referees to bank America's stadium?
Paul Allen went off on that referee crew, by the way. He was not pulling his punches after that game.
Oh, yeah. Restricted is not a fan of Score North.
Yeah, I know. I am, though, so sorry, buddy. I'm a subscriber to Score North.
Let's see.
Pretty successful channel.
That's why I told him at the beginning of the show to.
Oh, we've gotten into it before. He knows me.
Oh, restricted?
Yeah. We've gotten into it.
Well, I know.
But I appreciate that you're
here. If there's a Kirk fan, it's restricted.
Oh, I know. That's what we've got into it about. Shit, I might have blocked him at some point, but I don't think it's blocked anymore.
That's why I told him at the beginning to be a gentleman today.
Live and let live.
Yeah. If you can't pressure opponent's quarterback, defense will be shitty. Half the thing about I think the cornerbacks were just a little too handsy drawing penalties. But yeah, they had to cover a long time because we couldn't get at the quarterback. Second half offensive.
Good question.
I don't think we have a sense of urgency. I think conservative. There's a couple times where we ran it twice. And I'm like,
yeah,
don't
I agree.
I wanted to do that. Just little things like Justin Jefferson makes that great catch. We rush up the line thinking possibly it gets overturned. We snap the ball. We run it, get 3-yard loss. What do? We run it again.
Yeah. I'm
like, oh, no, you got to pass that shit right there. Sure, we got about 5 yards on the run, but I'm like, you got to pass it there.
I feel like there needs to be some more simpleness, I guess is the right word, just installed in the offense. Not everything has to be down the field. Can I just see a quick wide receiver screen, a little tunnel screen here and there, get slants, 5 yards,
crossing routes.
Yeah, just
slants, crossing routes, and screens.
Yeah. Do you remember the play
we totally went away from our screen game that looked so awesome at the beginning of the year?
You remember the play in Green Bay where Green Bay was coming back. I think they pulled into a 1-score game, and then the Vikings just went on that big boy drive where they went down and scored, made it a 2-score game, and pretty much sealed the game. And during that drive, Justin Jefferson had a drag route from left to right, and they threw that ball, easy completion. He had 30 yards after the catch. Can we do more of that? Just clear drag routes, easy stuff for Sam Darnold. Not everything has to be difficult.
We're so effective when we're running crossing routes, just so effective. And we just go away from it for entire games, in fact. Where was the last time you saw, Justin Jefferson crossing the field or Jordan Addison crossing the field? Just got to do that. He made just the Super Bowl. Yeah, that was he could have ran for that first down instead of throwing it to Naylor, but Naylor was wide ass open.
The linebackers started to bite up on him a little bit. He might have got it.
He might have been rocked on that play, because I agree with that. Because that was the third down play out of that sequence, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Sam Darnold did the right thing there. It's just Jordan Addison can't drop that ball. Man.
No, Naylor dropped the ball, right?
Or Naylor. Hey, Addison. Sorry, Naylor. Naylor dropped that ball.
Restricted. Yeah, KOC tries to get cute, but when the cute stuff works, it's beautiful. I agree, man. It's not everything has to be the utmost difficulty, though. Just take the cheese sometimes. Do you think that we should see some more boot play action in this offense? That's something I feel like we don't see a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk was good at it, right? Yeah. That was his superpower was the boot play. He's not doing it in Atlanta, though. He's in the pocket the whole time now. It's 5% of the times outside the pocket. But Sam Darnold's got the athletic ability. Now he did, keep in mind that he rolled out and missed Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
What could have closed out the game against Detroit.
Good point.
So who knows? Maybe he's not that good at it.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't throw well on the move.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Do we have proof of he is or not? I don't know.
I haven't watched enough Darnold, and this
Yeah.
season we haven't seen him really throwing on the move at all. When he
'cause
tucks
he's
it and
had
goes,
time.
he just goes. Right.
Oh yeah, if he goes, and that was like that time where he rushed for 19 yards and Jalen Naylor's wide ass open.
And you know who is really good at throwing on the move and running and keeping his eyes downfield and keeping the play alive?
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Okay,
That's like that's his best superpower.
It's true.
When you watch his Michigan tape, that kid will escape the pocket but keep his eyes downfield, deliver a bullet, run into his right. Like, that's impressive stuff.
I showed a video of him scrambling next to a video of Fran Tarkenton scrambling. Looked like the same goddamn player, except one was a more grainy video. It's pretty nice.
I'm so excited. You forget that we have JJ McCarthy. You know what I mean? But I'm so stoked to see that kid develop and start playing.
You know, I don't get into the, you know, it's so funny how some people are like, I know they're half kidding, but like, we've been undefeated ever since JJ McCarthy, you know, and then JJ McCarthy comes back, goes on the field and with the team, and no one's talking about how since he's done that, we've been 0-2. It's like, I don't think it has anything to do with it. But I'm glad he's with the team. I'm glad he's being part of it. Like, who's more excited about their teammates than JJ McCarthy? I'm like, they all are. These guys, sure, he tweets about it, but you know, other players maybe don't tweet it out. They just send a text to their teammates. It's you know, so come on. He's not a cult hero yet. He hasn't played it down, but I love him. I love his ability. I wish he was maybe an inch or two taller and had, you know, a half-inch bigger hands, but athletic ability, quarterback ability, personality-wise, just he's the right guy, I think. Not everybody can have. Oh, I lost Skoldock. He's frozen. He's gonna pop back on. Yeah, I know. One of the things I noticed is that, yeah, we got 9.5 yards per attempt. I'm like, Sam Darnold's career has been 6 3/4, right? Why not, why not inch it down the field a little bit and get a longer drive and wear out this defense and have outlets for him, have shorter plays. So this popped up is like, how do 4 yards at a time, keep the ball moving down, scoring each time. We're going to wear the shell of the defense. And, you know, Sam Darnold has been like 6.5 to 6 3/4 attempt, and he's like 9.5 this last game. It's like, we need, like we said, the shorter routes that could break open. You know, people complain about Kirk Cousins being checked down Charlie, but so's Rodgers. You know, they dumped the ball off. So's Pat Mahomes. That guy throws it behind the sticks more than anybody. I'm like, get that ball moving, right? Get that ball moving and get up to the line. Distribute like a point guard. If anybody's like a point guard, it's like Pat Mahomes. You know, he's got the athletic ability. He's got the arm that can throw it, 100 miles down the field. But hey, let's mix it up and get up to the line, get the quick hitter, things like that. We're not running enough plays. We're just not.
Kirk was never checked down Charlie. He will fight you, sir. Great comment.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would defend that. People call Kirk check down Charlie. I'm like, no, you're just watching him. You're not seeing the other games.
Yeah.
Because the other games, quarterbacks are throwing it to their check down.
A lot.
All the time. It's not Kirk. Kirk's 7.5 yards or better. That's better than the league average. He has not checked down Charlie, right? But Sam Darnold went from 6 3/4 to over 9 a game, 8.5, 9 a game. It's like, this is not him, right? It's like, oh, maybe it is. Who knows? But I don't want to see long, slow developing plays where he's getting 13-yard sacks anymore. I need some of the smaller, distribute the ball. And like you said, KOC says we want to be a little more fast. What do you call it? You said fast pace, or
it said fast break offense.
Fast break offense. And and when he came in and we started getting to the ball with 15 seconds left with Kirk, that's the kind of offense I've been saying he needs to do with Sam, and they started doing it a little bit, but not as consistent throughout the game, or it's just not been there. And it has a lot to do with Kirk being a second year in the league, being a more veteran, more experienced, and then the second year with the same offense. This is Sam's first year, but honestly, if you trust him, okay?
Right. Lean into it. I agree.
Go all out. Trust him.
Let's pick up Dylan Dotson's comment here. You might have talked about it while I had my internet outage there. It says, I don't mean to be doom and gloom, but this lack of interior defensive pressure is going to crush us in the second half of the season. Give me Jeffrey Simmons at all costs. I agree. If the Vikings are truly wanting to make a playoff run,
there you go.
They need interior pressure on this team. And they're going to need to be able to do it without blitzing, in my opinion. Okay? Because really the only time that you can pull that card and blitz that heavy to get the interior pressure is going to be third and long, right? It would be nice to get some interior pressure on first and second down. So I agree. And then Curly had a comment. Do you guys think that the trade will be our last due to our cap situation? No, I think that it's possible due to their cap flexibility, not only this year, but going into the next 3 years because of your rookie quarterback cap, that you can make a big trade like that happen. That you can go get Jeffrey Simmons if they want to, if he's available. The only question is, should you? Because like Dave pointed out, they don't have a lot of draft capital, but you only get so many seasons where your team is this damn good and has an opportunity to go this far in the playoffs. So I say lean into it, man. Lean into Sam Darnold. Lean into the strength of your team. Get some interior defensive pressure. Go get that defensive tackle. Let's have fun this year.
Timothy's, sorry to miss this, Timothy, but yeah, Hawkinson will be a big, and I feel like we're not hitting the middle of the field. And I think that's a weakness right now with Sam Darnold. We don't have a guy working up the middle like that. I mean, there was that play where he, against San Francisco, where he did hit the seam. He didn't hit it against the Lions with Naylor. But Hawkinson's tough to miss. He's tough to miss, that guy running up at the seam. So that's good. Now I think you said it. We have an opportunity here. Let's roll let's go all in. I know there's a couple guys in this chat here who were probably laughing at me last year when I said this was a win now team and I wanted a quarterback that could run the fucking offense. Little I know that we would get rid of a good one and then actually bring in one that was capable of doing it. So I'm like, oh right, and we've drafted a guy, so I'm like winner either way. Let's we got to go for it. We could get a 1 seed and get a bye if we beat, and we could win, beat the Lions at the end of the year and get the whatever tiebreaker or just outright win the division. It's in our grasp, and we got a freaking schedule here, and we've hit our lull. We haven't hit our peak yet, I don't think. We got a peak to hit yet, and especially with Sam Darnold getting more and more comfortable with the offense and that defense. They're not going to play Thursday night every week. This is a good team. This is a good team that could be great. We got all the weapons. We got great players on this team, and this is a team that could do some damage. We make the playoffs, right? With the defense, just got to show up. But hit it. Let's roll the dice. Let's go. I want to win. I'm not this. You will never see me go, oh, I can't. I want to lose because I want a higher draft pick. You'll never see me be like that ever. And if we go win 10, 11 games, get in the playoffs, this team could win in the playoffs against anybody. And so get there. We just got to get there. And
it would be nice to do that at home, right?
Oh,
Which makes all of these games very
division.
important. Exactly. So, in my opinion, when you look at the front runner in the division, the front runner in the NFC, the Detroit Lions, you're not going to beat that offense. You're not going to beat Jared Goff unless the ball hits the fucking ground when they have the ball, right? That team, they've had more completions, more touchdowns than incompletions in consecutive weeks here, going back like 3 weeks. You need to pressure Goff up the middle. You just have to. That offensive line, you got to find a way. So I think they got to go get a stud. They really do.
So restricted. I think we utilized Hawkinson plenty, but you're right about other outside of Hawkinson. Oliver,
I think that comment meant up to now. While Hawkinson's been out, why have they overutilized Munt instead of Oliver? I think that's what he's getting at.
True. I think Munt's done fine. But I think Oliver's a little more dangerous. And he was a pass catching tight end in college. I think Munt might be more reliable per se, because I've seen some plays where like Kirk last year threw a ball down the field and it didn't look like he would have had a chance of catching that ball. But Kirk put it in the right spot. He could have high pointed it, got it. He just looked incapable of doing that. So I do think it has to be a short pass, crossing route, delay, a chip block delay type of thing. I think he's very effective in short yardage and the goal line. I think we could utilize him a lot more. And they got that touchdown with him this last game. That's the kind of shit.
I love that.
You don't expect him to get the ball. Yeah. Get him the ball. The guy can play. I have no problem with it. I'm still pissed off about Kansas City last year, but first play of the game. But I like Oliver, and we need to utilize tight end a lot more. And I think Hawkinson is going to make a big difference.
I love Oliver as a role player. He's a great run blocker on the edge. I do not like it when they try to single him up on a pass rusher. Even though he's a big dude.
They did that.
Yeah, right? and he got beat. So I wouldn't do that. I do love that tight end sneak play that they do where he's on the right side and they do all these clear out routes from left to right, and then they sneak him to the left side. That's the play that he scored on twice so far this year against the Rams, and I forget the other, maybe the Packers, I think. They scored the other game. He had the exact same play that he scored on twice from right to left.
I have no memory,
but
I can't remember.
He's a good player, and when Hawkinson comes back, I'd like to see more of them on the same side, play action sets out of that where you can chip with Oliver and send him on a little drag route and use Hawkinson on a corner or something like that and get him down the field. But I'm a big Oliver fan. I'm not a big Munt fan. I'm not sure exactly what they see. I guess, like Dave said, just the reliability of him, knowing that he's going to execute his job.
He's a big play. He's had a big play called back against. So was it the Lions? Got a big play called back because of our running back held. But he's had some big plays downfield a couple times. I don't know. He's I don't think he should be playing as much or more than Oliver.
Right.
But,
how long are we going to be saying extend KOC and Kwesi until they actually get an extension? What more do we actually want to see? Great question, Dylan. So for me personally, I'm okay extending one and not the other. I don't think that would be weird. I think that the Vikings brass wants to do it together and keep it a marriage, and that's fine. To me, this is just my opinion. I think that Kwesi has shown me enough to extend him, and I know a lot of people gripe about his drafting, but this is probably the best free agent class the Vikings have ever had. And he has handled the competitive rebuild phenomenally. It's not very often where you see teams go through what the Vikings have gone through and not take a big step back and just be flat out bad, especially when transitioning away from your starting quarterback like they did with Kirk Cousins. So for me, I think Kwesi's done enough, and KOC has definitely done enough. Give him an extension right now. I love KOC. That's just me. How about you, Dave?
Oh, he's my forever coach. I think he'll be here for 15 plus years. I've already looked into the future, and it has told me that he's it's only a matter of how many Super Bowls. That's the question.
Okay. I was going to ask you, did we get one? Because
we got one. We got three. We got three. And we're only in, I don't know how many we have to go to catch the Packers, but we'll catch them eventually. We got more division titles. I got this up here. We got more division titles than them. So hopefully we can get more Super Bowls eventually. I know restricted. Yeah, Kyle Rudolph was kind of like drowned out in like 2018. 19, he got that touchdown to win the game against the Saints. But yeah, he was you know, and age just started to get to him and stuff. That was pretty late in his career. But yeah, we didn't utilize the tight end, but those are different coordinators now. Obviously we use the hell out of Hawkinson, and I kind of expect that to happen once he comes back here. And Sam, throw him the ball, man. He should be, honestly, with the amount of having Hawkinson out there and Justin Jefferson. Holy shit, this should be a nightmare for defenses.
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't know if Too Evil to Hope is joking when they say that KOC should be fired, not extended. But that brings up the question, like, how many dudes would you take over KOC? Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin, maybe. I say maybe. He's a damn good coach, but it does suck getting into that spot where your head coach isn't your offensive play caller, and then you have to keep cycling through OCs with your quarterback. Yeah, it sucked. With Zimmer, I love Zimmer. I'm a big Zimmer guy. I know that they ended poorly, and that sucks. But I think Zimmer's a hell of a coach. But McVay, yes. But how long is McVay going to be into this? I feel like he's wanting to be done here pretty soon.
On TV soon.
Yeah, so it's like there's not a lot of dudes I would really take over KOC. Ben Johnson, he's a great offensive coordinator, but we haven't seen Ben Johnson the coach. We don't know. We've seen plenty of guys.
I bet he's going to be a good one.
I would think so, but hey, Ben Johnson is this mystery box over here where Kevin O'Connell's this boat. You know what I mean? The old Family Guy episode where it's like, the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. So I like KOC, man.
Yeah, I'm big into that. You can't. I actually met Teal the Hope and in person.
You know what would suck? You know what would really suck? If the Bears fire Eberflus this offseason and hire Ben Johnson.
Fucking murder.
It would hurt the Lions tremendously.
Hurt my soul.
But I think that if the Bears did that, I think that Caleb Williams and the Bears win a Super Bowl in like the next 2 years.
So, someone said that was like his choice, but they didn't fire Eberflus, but that's why he stayed. Someone tweeted that today.
That was Albert Breer, who saw a rumor. Yeah. So it's like, who knows if that's true or not, but Zimmer lost me on the infamous Chase Daniel game. For whatever reason, Zimmer never played man-to-man coverage again after that game. I could rant endlessly about Rashad Breeland on that Halloween game, for example. That's on Zimmer. Yeah, dude, I mean, shit ended poorly for Zim, but when his stuff was good, it was good. His defense was just straight baller in 2017. When Zim came in, and what was it, 2013, somewhere in there, he was exactly what the Vikings needed. They needed him. They were coming off Leslie Frazier.
It had to be 2014 because I don't know. I moved here and I actually went to the Miami game. I moved here in 2014. So I went to the Miami game and we won 7 games that year, I think. That was his first year, right?
But typically you hire the opposite of what you just broke up with. And so the Vikings had a miserable 3-win season under Leslie Frazier. And they go out and they get Mike Zimmer, just a tough football coach. And he brought stability to the Vikings. And you know what he did? He gave us true competition in terms of beating the Packers. We split with the Packers a lot with Zimmer. And Aaron Rodgers owned the Lions. He owned the Bears. But he did not own the Vikings. He did not. So, and we were in the playoffs every other year with Zimmer. So respect to Zimmer. I think he's a great football coach. I think he should retire and take it easy and go live on the ranch, because I think that the game's passing him by a little bit.
It's past him.
But also he's dealing with a lot of injuries.
So KOC play calling after script play is terrible, right?
It is.
I mean, you can't. There's no proof it's not.
It's in the numbers. I mean, we know that it is. It's literally the best. Like in terms of EPA, yards per play, it's the best offensive play caller in scripted plays. And somebody brought this up. I forget who I was listening to, but they were like, he was on the Fantasy Footballers podcast they were talking about, but they're like, you know why those plays are probably so good? Because that's what they're able to practice. Like, that's what they practice. They don't get a ton of time to practice during the week. Like, those are the plays they're running. And then the other plays are probably not what they're practicing, which is a good point. But it needs to change. It does. Like, even if you're fantastic with the script and just average with the rest of the plays, as long as you're not ass for 2 quarters, can we just put together a complete game? Please and thank you. That would be great.
Outside of the Texans, yeah. And thanks, Restricted. Fucking calling me old. Yeah, I don't know, man. When Zimmer left, we had like 3 father-son duos on our team.
Yeah, nepotism at its finest. Yeah, dude.
And I was like, God.
I get a little upset when people shit on Zim. And again, don't get me wrong, it was bad when it ended. But Zimmer brought a lot of good memories to the Vikings, had us in the NFC Championship with Case Keenum's big balls. And it was a fun ride with Mike Zimmer, and I wish him all the best. The guy's dealt with a lot, man. Lost his wife, lost his son. I love Mike Zimmer.
And I don't know, probably not going to have a great reputation in Dallas after this. That was one thing he had was back in the day, right?
Mike McCarthy's going to get fired. He's going to get fired.
Yeah, so. You'd have to think. And they were a tough team, last year is like that, but they were so hit and miss. They got, beat by the freaking, the Pastronaut back in, as their only victory, right?
Yeah.
And then but the other games were awesome, and it's like, God, they're so hit and miss.
I got another hate to see it for you.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm just saying.
Hate to see it.
I know you're a kid, man.
Oh yeah. Hate to see it. The Philadelphia Eagles figuring their shit out. I really thought they were going to miss the playoffs. I don't want that shit to happen, right? I thought that Nick Sirianni was going to get canned. They looked really good against the Bengals. Now, maybe the Bengals defense is just really, really bad because it does seem like the Bengals don't stop anything or anyone. But it did kind of look like the Eagles are figuring that out. Did it not?
I didn't get to see, I don't see the game, but I just know that Joe, what's his name? Quarterback? Joe Burrow. Apparently gets a pass on losing seasons. Right?
Well, you get a pass on starting out like shit every year. Every year they start out like shit. T. Kubler, Eagles are frauds. I hope so, man. I hope so. It's a team that I don't really want to play in the playoffs, dude. I'll be honest with you. They got a lot of talent. Talk about 2 good wide receivers.
NFC's a little tougher than it was the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with Rams coming back like that. Rams look like as good as anybody right now.
Yeah. And again, it sucks. Like, they were so decimated when they played the Bears, when they played the Packers.
We might have ended their season if we beat them, right?
Yeah, seriously. And earlier there was a comment, I think it was from Restricted maybe or something. Said that we should have traded for Stafford. Who do you think, who do you want to trade for? He said the name Stafford. But after they beat us and how good they looked, Rams are not going to sell. They're in their division.
They're buying, man.
They're right in that division. They're not selling. I don't believe in the Cardinals. The Niners are starting to pick it up, and they're going to get Christian McCaffrey back here pretty soon. The Seahawks have taken a giant step back. They don't look very good.
Well, they have one great game against they just destroyed Atlanta. And they didn't destroy, but they had it handily.
There's some defensive touchdowns and stuff in that game too. A little fluky.
Yeah. And
Cousins got strip sacked.
Yeah, it was late in the game. There were 2 scores down though at the time, so I'd say they handled the Seahawks handled them pretty good. Then Atlanta comes back and beats Tampa again. But yeah, the Seahawks then went out and laid an egg. What Seahawks team you gonna get? I don't feel too worried about the Seahawks.
And they just got their ass beat.
I don't feel too worried about Atlanta either.
I think
we have a better team than Atlanta.
Seattle's a tough place to play, but that team doesn't scare me much. I think the Vikings can win there. Let's end the show with this. And everyone in the comment section, thank you for participating tonight. That's been awesome. Just giving us questions.
Make sure you hit like.
Off. Absolutely. Hit like, follow us. We'll be back every Tuesday night. About 8:45 to 9:45-ish, somewhere in there. But it's been great tonight. Thank you guys for coming in. Even if you're Kirk stands, I still love you and happy to have you. But so looking at their next 4 games, we got the Colts game. And to me, this one's pivotal. You cannot lose 3 in a row. You got to win this game at home. You have 3 coming up in a row on the road after this. But the Colts game, you got to take care of business. All right. They're 5-point favorites. I'm going to pick the Vikings to win. I think they're going to have a big bounce back off their mini bye. Sunday Night Football. I think the defense is going to get back to form, even with Joe Flacco at quarterback. I was looking forward to Anthony Richardson looking completely lost against us, but whatever.
That would have been nice.
We'll still beat Joe Flacco. And then on the road against the Jaguars, who are hurt and tanking, selling off their pieces, I'm going to pick a win. At Tennessee, one of the worst teams in the NFL, going to pick a win. And then we have at Chicago. I want to pick a win. They'll probably lose, to be honest with you. Soldier Field, tough defense. But my wife just says the Bears fan.
Oh, yeah. I like this stretch. I think to feel like we're the shit, I think we got to win these next 4.
Yeah, I agree.
Win all 4, and we're contenders.
I'd still feel good at 3-1.
Gotta beat the team.
Shit, I lost my internet again.
I can see you.
Oh, perfect. It was spotty there.
I could see you. You're fun. Last season for Soldier, that would be nice. Put a little stamp on that.
No, it's not the last season for Soldier Field.
It's not?
No, I think that lease is going through 2029, if I'm correct. So they're going to be there for a little while. They're still working that out. I'm not even positive that they're for sure going out to Arlington Heights. I think that's still up in the air too.
Yeah, I think the Metrodome saved the Twins from being dismantled. From being they basically were going to dissolve the team, and then the Metrodome sued them because they had a lease, and that saved the Twins. Built the stadium.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for coming. That was a great chat that we had tonight. Watch out for our pregame show that's going to come out Sunday morning, previewing the Colts game against the Vikings. And then we'll be back here next Tuesday night at 8:30. Hope to see you guys join us again. Skol, everybody, and football.
Skol, Vikes.